The girl can carry a bridge with one hand. If anyone wants to move house, they just need to tell her, and she will help them move to the right place. If a house is crooked, she can kick it to make it straight again. Her sister is even more amazing. She can control the growth and changes of all kinds of plants. If she wants to, she can create a world full of flowers. The girl's aunt can control the weather at will. When she's in a good mood, it's sunny. When she's in a bad mood, it rains heavily. The weather in the entire town is entirely up to her. The girl's cousin can change his appearance. He can not only transform into anyone's appearance, but also freely switch between sizes. The girl's cousin has super hearing. No information can escape her ears. The girl's mother can heal all injuries and illnesses with food. From now on, no one needs to take medicine anymore. It turns out that they are a magical family with superpowers. They live together in a magical house. When they wake up in the morning, their shoes automatically put themselves on their feet. Clothes that are thrown around are automatically caught by a basket. When they go downstairs, the stairs automatically turn into a slide. When they eat, the teapot would even brew and pour the coffee for you. Additionally, the floor could transform into a treadmill-like surface. The youngest sister, Mirabelle, was also a member of this family, but she possessed no magical abilities. The family's magical abilities come from their grandmother's magical candle. When each child turns 5, the magical candle grants them different magical abilities. But when Mirabelle awakens her talent, as soon as her hand touches the doorknob, the magical door mysteriously disappears. From then on, her grandmother never smiles at her again. Although Mirabelle has no superpowers, she still faces life with optimism. Until one day, the youngest cousin in the family was about to awaken his superpowers. The whole family was preparing for this important moment, using their superpowers to decorate the house. Mirabelle wanted to help, but her older sister said she would only get in the way. Even her grandmother, the head of the family, told her that the best way she could help was by staying out of the way. This left Mirabelle, who had been eager to help, feeling very disappointed. As the ceremony proceeded, her young cousin successfully awakened his talent, opening the door to his own magic. The animals of the forest poured through the door, and her cousin's room became a beautiful, open forest. It turned out that he had awakened the superpower to communicate with animals. Grandmother was overjoyed that her cousin had awakened his superpower, so she gathered the family for a group photo. But no one noticed Mirabelle in the corner, as if she didn't exist at all. Mirabelle sadly walked alone to the living room. Although she didn't have superpowers, Mirabelle still loved this family very much, but she never got everyone's recognition. Just then, a piece of tile suddenly fell from the sky, and cracks began to appear on the ground. The cracks spread upward, until they stopped at the location of the magic candle that provided superpowers. The candle nearly went out. Seeing this, Mirabelle rushed to tell her family about it. However, by the time the family came out, the magical house had already returned to normal. Mirabelle tried to explain, but her grandmother ruthlessly interrupted her, and told everyone that the magical house was extremely sturdy, claiming it was just her granddaughter's joke, and there was no need to take it seriously. Thinking about what happened during the day, Mirabelle couldn't sleep, so she climbed onto the roof in the middle of the night, to make sure the magic candles were safe. But she accidentally overheard her grandmother's worries. It turned out that her grandmother had already sensed that the magic candles were fading. When that happened, everyone's superpowers would disappear, and the magic house would collapse, but she was powerless to do anything about it. Mirabelle understood her grandmother's predicament. She decided to help her grandmother resolve the crisis. The next day, Mirabelle found her eldest sister, and asked her if she knew what was causing the magic to be disrupted. Her older sister told her that there was an uncle who had been missing for many years. Her uncle's superpower was precognition. He had once prophesied that the magical house would collapse. Finding her uncle might reveal the truth behind the disappearance of the magic, but her uncle had been missing for many years. In order to find clues, Mirabelle secretly went to her uncle's room. After passing through a waterfall made of quicksand, she found herself in an enormous cave. Mirabelle struggled to climb countless stairs, and finally arrived at the place where her uncle had once foretold the future. There, she discovered many fragments of green light on the ground. When she pieced them together, an image of Mirabelle herself appeared. This puzzled Mirabelle greatly. Just then, the palace began to collapse. Mirabelle quickly gathered all the fragments and fled the area. When Mirabelle returned to the house, she ran into her grandmother. Her grandmother told her that tonight was her older sister's engagement party, and that she must not cause any trouble tonight, but all she wanted to do now was find out the truth. After Mirabelle returned to her room, Mirabelle reassembled the fragments again. She suddenly realized that the cracks in the magical house seemed to be related to her. Just as Mirabelle was at a loss, her father walked in. Mirabelle quickly confessed everything to her father. After learning the details of the situation, her father quickly put away the fragments, and instructed Mirabelle not to tell anyone.
I know. She's gonna tell everyone.
Time to eat!
At her older sister's engagement party, Mirabelle signaled to her cousin not to say anything, but her cousin couldn't help but tell her cousin about it. Her cousin then told her uncle about it. Her uncle told her aunt about it, and so everyone found out about it. Mirabelle, feeling nervous, lowered her head and dared not look at everyone, but she noticed that cracks were beginning to appear on the floor. Everyone's magic was also spinning out of control. The entire restaurant was in chaos. Because of the magic going out of control, her second sister accidentally injured the groom-to-be. Thus, the engagement party ended in chaos.
I hate you!
I'm a loser!
What did you do?
Just then, a few small mice carried away the fragments. Mirabelle quickly chased after them, and saw that the mice had crawled into the wall. Mirabelle climbed over the painting and discovered that there was a secret room behind it. She cautiously walked inside. In the darkness, a mysterious figure appeared, but vanished in an instant. Mirabelle followed the mysterious figure's footsteps and chased after him, but accidentally fell off a cliff. Just as Mirabelle was about to fall, the mysterious figure reached out and saved her. It turned out that this person was Mirabelle's uncle, who had been missing for many years. In fact, he had never left the magic house, but had been hiding in the attic all along. Over the years, he had quietly repaired the cracks in the magic house. His living quarters were just one wall away from the magic house's dining room. On his simple dining table were plates painted with the same designs as those used by his family. At that moment, Mirabelle finally understood. Her uncle was just like her, though not recognized by his family. He loved this family just as much. They were both silently protecting this home in their own ways. Mirabelle hoped her uncle would make another prophecy to find a way to save the magic house, but her uncle said that the place was too small now, and there wasn't enough space to perform magic. However, her little cousin suddenly appeared, and suggested using his room. The little mouse had already told him everything. The cousin took them to his room, and as her uncle released the prophecy magic, a sudden gust of wind swept through the room. Soon, the prophecy reappeared. The prophecy revealed that when someone hugged Mirabelle, the magic house could be saved. But to her surprise, the person who hugged her was none other than her older sister. Mirabelle had just ruined her older sister's engagement party, so getting her to hug her now was no easy task. But to save the magic house, she decided to give it a try. She went to her older sister's room and sincerely apologized to her. But her older sister, who was still furious, refused to accept her apology. She controlled the plants and tried to drag Mirabelle out. Mirabelle felt very wronged. She had done all this for her family, but she didn't get any recognition. At that moment, all her grievances exploded.
Title princess! Selfish!
During the argument, her older sister finally broke down and spoke her mind. It turned out that despite appearing perfect, she had many worries of her own. Over the years, to gain her grandmother's approval, she had maintained the image of a model daughter, but she didn't want to be a perfect princess. She wanted to follow her heart and pursue her own happiness. After an open-hearted conversation, the second sister finally found her true self, and the two sisters reconciled. They embraced each other before the magic candle. After their embrace, the magic candle grew even brighter, and the magic house began to repair itself. But just then, her grandmother suddenly walked in. She scolded Mirabelle for ruining her second sister's engagement ceremony and corrupting her second sister. No matter how Mirabelle tried to explain, her grandmother wouldn't listen. In her anger, she blamed Mirabelle for everything. Heartbroken, Mirabelle completely broke down and said the words she had been afraid to say before.
I will never be good enough for you, will I? No matter how hard any of us tries, Lisa will never be strong enough. Isabella won't be perfect enough. I love this family. We all love this family. You're the one that doesn't care. You're the one breaking our home. Don't you ever! Miracle is dying because of you.
As Mirabelle and her grandmother argued, the house finally collapsed under the strain. The magical candles were also knocked over. Everyone rushed to rescue the magical candles, but because the magical house had already begun to collapse, they all lost their magic. For everyone's safety, the magical house pushed everyone out of the house. Only Mirabelle managed to climb onto the roof. In the midst of the crisis, Mirabelle successfully retrieved the candle, and the magical house collapsed completely. Just as it was about to crush Mirabelle, the magical house used its last bit of magic to summon furniture to protect Mirabelle. When the dust settled, the candle in Mirabelle's hand had gone out. The magic house had become a pile of rubble. Heartbroken, Mirabelle ran alone to the riverbank to cry. At that moment, her grandmother approached her and told her the story of her and her grandfather's youth. Back then, their family was being chased by bandits. To save her grandfather sacrificed his life to stop the bandits. After her beloved passed away, the heartbroken grandmother awakened her superpower. Not only did she eliminate all the bandits, but she also brought the children to establish the current home. The magic house was her superpower. It wasn't the candles that granted everyone magic. It was Grandma who created all of this. But as time passed, Grandma, fearing the loss of magic, forgot the original purpose of creating the magic house. She demanded strict obedience from her family members, but ignored their inner feelings, which led to this disaster. At this point, the grandmother realized her mistake, and sincerely apologized to Mirabelle. Upon learning the truth, Mirabelle understood her grandmother's predicament. She comforted her grandmother, saying that, even without magic, she still had her family, and they could solve any problems together. The two reconciled, and embraced each other. At that moment, Mirabelle's uncle arrived to take them home. The grandmother saw her son, who had been missing for years, reappear. She hugged him tightly. It was clear that she had forgiven him for leaving all these years. The family then decided to rebuild their home. The villagers also rushed to help. Soon after, a brand new house was completed. Before celebrating, there was one more important thing to do. Install door handles on the new house. Everyone chose Mirabelle to do this. When Mirabelle installed the door handles, a miracle happened. The magic house regained its magic, and returned to its previous state. Everyone also regained the magic they had lost. It turned out that Mirabelle's superpower was the same as her grandmother's, the ability to create a magical house. Now she had inherited her grandmother's magic, and was starting a happy life anew with her family.